Good morning, and welcome to another Writer's Morning Commute with Ashton Gaskill. Today we'll be talking about the third structural point that I outline, which is the midpoint. So once I know where I'm going and where I'm starting, the climax and the characteristic moment, I fold that in half, and right there in the middle is the midpoint. The midpoint is the first of three major turning points that we'll be discussing. And these turning points, while having their own structural goal and their own weight to carry, do have one thing in common. Well, they might have multiple things in common. One of the things they have in common is that they're each made up of kind of two beats. They start out, generally speaking, with something bad happening, followed by a decision to move on and keep going in some way. So, the midpoint specifically the midpoint specifically is where your character kind of switches from reacting to what's been happening to them, and they switch to proacting, acting specifically towards defeating the antagonistic force, whether that's actually an antagonist or whatever it may be. It could also be, a force of nature or something within themselves, whatever it may be. So right before this point, we should have the lowest point of the story up to now. The first half of the book should be leading towards this first low point. In Fellowship of the Ring, this is where Frodo gets stabbed on their way to the Elven City, and then they get to the Elven City and they have a moment to relax and consider what they're going to do next. And then they decide to take the ring to Mordor. They decide to walk it there. So that's your kind of two steps. You have the attack with Frodo almost dying, and then you have them reflecting and reacting to that event and to all of the events that have come so far, and deciding to push on anyways, even if there's a bit of a hesitation to do so. I'll talk later, hopefully I remember, about the low point, which is another turning point, and a pretty good example of someone who doesn't accept it right away would be the main character from Dodgeball. But we'll table that discussion for now. Another important aspect of this moment is that it reflects the opening. In some ways. So in the beginning, you have the character kind of breaking away from their comfortable starting life. They have all these things built up that has made the life comfortable for them, despite the fact that they aren't really satisfied. But there's enough stuff there padding those pointy bits, shall we say, those little nagging thoughts in the back of their mind. They have enough padding on those to not pursue change. And that is until the inciting incident where that padding starts to get stripped away. And it gets stripped away until it's all stripped away with the point of no return, where the character goes into this new world. So that first act of plot points 1, 2, and 3, and 8s 1 and 2 are all about stripping away those comforts. Whereas the midpoint and the 8th leading up to it, the 4th 8th, is about finding new comforts in this new world. At first the world's going to feel alien and hostile, then they're going to start understanding it and start finding those comforts. This is where they really embrace the comforts and are able to see the world, this new world, as where they really belong in some way. And they'll probably end up taking whatever that is back with them to their original world. Yeah. So thank you for riding with me. Hopefully some of that was helpful to you, and I hope you have a great day.